Okay, so normally we have a hakama on. What's the hakama for?
To cover our footwork.
Cover our stance, cover our footwork. A lot of techniques with the sword. The footwork corresponds with a certain attack. So to have that kind of hidden helps give you a better chance of pulling off your block or pulling off your strike and so on and so forth. Okay? The sword being at your side, the katana is curved. So the outside of the curve, okay, so for example, if I have this sword in like a frowny face position, is the blade on top or the blade on bottom?
On top.
The blade's on top. If I flip it to a smiley face, where's the blade?
On the bottom.
On the bottom. When it's at my side, do I want happy or sad?
Sad.
I want sad face. Why?
Because
So
that way the blade isn't resting on the bottom of the case, and that way it doesn't dull.
What she said. So the scabbard does not fit the sword like a puzzle piece. That would be bad because that means that the blade itself would be grinding against the wood. You hear that? Good thing this isn't a real sword because that would mess this thing up. So if every time you drew the sword out, it would then have that pressure against the wood and otherwise dull your blade. So the reason we have it blade up is because there's basically an air bubble, if you will, up at the top of this weapon. And so when I draw the sword out, the back of the blade is grinding against the scabbard, but not the blade. The back of the blade, we're cool with that grinding against the wood. But the top of the blade, the blade itself, we do not want that grinding against the top of the scabbard. Yes, sir?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so the sword, normally you guys would have a scabbard, but we skip that for your guys' bokens, so you guys don't smack each other with those. So the sword's at your side. Make sure the blade is up or otherwise in a frowny face position. Good? Okay, so go ahead and draw your sword out. We'll save the whole drawing, positioning, and verbiage for another video. But you have the sword out. This is for Bonkai 1. We're going to do the attacking portion first. I think the attacking portion is a little bit easier to digest. So, first of all, your right hand's towards the top, left hand towards the bottom. About an inch of space from the top hand to the, what's this called? The finger guard, what's it called? Zuba, good. And then the bottom of the blade is the bottom of the handle, I should say, is the kashira. And that is basically the tail or blunt part of the weapon. You'd be using that to strike somebody in the face. So, or pummel them. So left hand's low, right hand's high. Aim it straight ahead. Now when you start Bonkai, you always start, Ms. Baker, you always start aimed at one another. And then on an exam and such, when Master Nelson calls out, okay, this side's the attacker, this side's the defender, or vice versa, then the attacker then goes to their next position. But we always start in what's called chuda. I wouldn't say chuda. Chuda. So we aim it straight forward, aim kind of at like the mouth, neck area, middle stance. From here, we're going to pretend that we were told we're the attacker in terms of an exam situation. So we're going to bring the sword up to Jodan, Jodan's high stance. Now, you're in a neutral position, but I want your right foot to be a little bit more in front, just a tad bit more in front, okay? Toes are forward. Now we're going to step up with our right foot. So our right foot steps in front, and you're essentially in a front stance, okay? The sword dips to the right side of the room a bit, and then you're going to bring it across, kind of like you're drawing across like a diagonal, across, boom. Now naturally, we would normally cut through, but with Bonkai, we're factoring in that there's another person, there's a teammate of ours that's helping us demonstrate this. This is their job to defend. So they're blocking this attack while we're attacking. Boom, so hold it. And you want this blade to line up with your neck in the mirror, okay? Not with your thigh, not with your toe, not with your ear, with the neck. Boom. We are going to attack at the thigh next. So right here in the mirror, this isn't your neck. See your reflection in the mirror? Your neck is right here, right there, or in front of us. Okay. From here, take your front foot, your right leg, slide back to a cat stance. Bring it back to Hasso on your right side. Now, Hasso looks like a batting position. You want to keep the blade aimed forward. Now I step back into a front stance, and instead of going way up high across, I'm going to aim kind of mid and bring it down. Now where I'm aiming right now is for the upper part of the leg, all right, on the opponent. So I aim for the side of their neck, now I'm aiming for the side of their leg. And then again, they would be blocking this technique. From here, come back to that cat stance, back to Hasso. I want you to switch the cat stance, now it's on the left foot, and move it to the left side. You're not gonna switch your hands or anything. You're gonna keep that, don't have it down. Your hands should not be by your belt. The hands are up kind of by your chin and your ear. That's how high. Now step up with your left foot to a front stance. Attack high. Good. Come back, cat stance, back to Hasso. Step up again. Now you're cutting to the upper part of the leg on the other side. Boom, cut. And then within the Bonkai, the defender would then finish their last block, disarm you essentially, and then decapitate you. And game over for you. You lived a good life, but game over. All right, reset back. Let's do that one more time at a little bit of a faster pace. So we start back at Chudan, right foot's a little bit more in front. So there's 4 total cuts before we dive. From here, up to Jodan, step with the right foot, front stance, cut high, right to left, retract back, Hasso / cat stance, then cut low. It's still a downward angle cut, you're just targeting lower. Retract back, swap to the left side, step with the left, cut high, left foot's in front, retract, attack low. And then you, great job. All right, reset back.